You're listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to Cultober.
Yay!
Happy Halloween.
Today, we are reviewing 13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts came out 2001.
2001.
Yep. Stars Tony Shalhoub,
Tony Shalhoub,
And
Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard.
And Monk came out right after this movie.
Right after.
Yeah, in 2002, according to the internet.
The internet does not lie to us.
This also had, Nadia.
What's her name?
Shannon Elizabeth.
Shannon
I'm pretty
Elizabeth.
Sure.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say it.
Let me
Allison
bring up the
Han-
Wikipedia page again.
Allison Hannigan, but that's not true.
No, she's the redhead one.
Yeah, she's
I
How I
know.
Met Your Mother.
October 26, 2001 by Warner Brothers Pictures. Anyone got a guess on the budget? We'll do a guess of the budget.
Oof.
$60 million.
I'm going to go, I was going to say 50 million, actually, but it's a little close to what
Did you already
said,
look at the
so
Wikipedia
I'll
page,
stick at
Ian?
50.
Are you
I
disqualified?
didn't see that part.
Okay.
Actually, what'd you say?
60.
I'll go 75 million.
I'll go 40.
$1, Bob.
42 million was the budget.
Whoa. Nice.
Closest without going over.
That's
He wins
impressive.
the Price is
That's,
Right.
yeah, that I would, even if you don't particularly care for this movie, I'd say that's 40
Is that why
million
they
pretty-
flickered out the ghosts so much? That
Probably.
was really fucking annoying.
Maybe. I mean,
Well, I suspect that
I guess where did the budget go? Really? I mean,
that house,
The
sets?
the set,
dude,
and the
that
makeup.
junkyard
it
was
had to be.
almost all of their stuff was practical, and
Right.
so I mean,
Yeah, the CGI definitely stood out when it was used.
right?
Oh, yeah.
You could tell, and so it was used, I think, sparingly.
Yeah, which was definitely to its benefit.
So budget 42 million. What was its box office? Ursa.
180.
Ben.
I'm going to say 100 mil,
50.
50 million.
68.5 million.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
So me and you split the middle. I said 100,
Mhm.
you said 50.
Yeah. I figured it wasn't like
I thought this was like
I
a
didn't.
hit.
Yeah, I didn't. I kind of didn't think it was, but
Well,
I knew it
I
wasn't.
mean, it
like
made
a
its
flop.
budget.
So
Right, right.
I think
It wasn't.
it was a hit, but it was a hit for a horror movie at this time. Like I remember seeing this in theaters, and there was a decent amount of people.
Right.
But I mean, like horror films like this, they only appeal to a certain amount of people in the market. So even a hit is not that much.
All right.
Horror films never really make big.
Yeah,
money.
horror films are.
I don't know about that. How much money did, I mean, I have a phone too, but I mean,
What am I looking up?
how much
Gee,
money did The Conjuring make?
The Conjuring?
So I knew this was. I should have headed this off at the pass. I knew this was coming. The trend of horror movies making money, like The Conjuring, A Quiet Place, and stuff. That's fairly recent.
You want the first Conjuring?
That's a fairly
Yeah.
recent trend.
Yeah, the new It movies were.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. So
That was all on like nostalgia, though. I think they didn't really.
I mean, it
Yeah.
to a certain extent it is, but I mean, I also think the first one was really.
Listen,
was-
the,
I
the
really
Conjuring's
like
not going to be a fair comparison. What do you think its budget was first for The Conjuring? I know it's
Conjuring?
yeah,
and it came out more than 10 years after this.
2013.
yeah.
So what
'Cause
was the
in the-
budget for
so-
Conjuring?
adjusted for inflation, probably around about the same.
What are we thinking?
Oh, 200,000, 200 million. I mean,
100 million?
I'm gonna go 300 million.
The budget for The Conjuring was
Oh wait,
only-
budget.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought we were doing box office
No.
because I'm an idiot.
No.
No. So I'm
Oh.
gonna go 100 million
for the
I think
budget.
a hun- Yeah.
Are we
I
all
think
still
I'm in
taking
on
the
100
numbers,
million.
understanding budget now?
yeah.
Yeah,
It
It
numbers
only
in
costed $20 million
Damn.
for The Conjuring.
Whoa.
It
Well
do you,
done.
Do you
I'm
want
sure
to
that
guess how
budget
much
went
it
up for
made?
the sequels.
I couldn't even tell you.
Okay, so now I'm gonna say 300 million. for
319 million it made back
Wow.
off a $20
No,
million
no
budget.
wonder there's three
Wow.
more of them
What a
fucking.
fucking
Right, two more of them
Jesus.
fucking things.
and a whole
Didn't they?
extended universe.
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't they make it like a whole?
There's
universe out of
there's
that?
3 Annabelle movies. They got the Nun.
So-
That La Llorona movie that came out is apparently one of those.
Wasn't Paranormal Activity? When did the original one of those come out? I think
that was
like 09 or
2009,
something,
I
yeah.
think.
Yeah, but at least The Conjuring was good.
Because I saw that in theaters with my high school girlfriend. She was
Oof.
like super stoked for it.
Oof. Ouch.
Yeah,
Boy, that was a boring date.
it was.
So we ready to start getting into 13 Ghosts?
Yeah.
13 Ghosts.
All
I
right, let's get
guess.
Cultobery.
Yeah.
I don't know a good lead in for this. It wasn't as cool as Night of the Creeps where I could say thrill me, you know?
Oh, yeah.
What do you say for 13 Ghosts to get us into that?
Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah. Look.
means there should be 12 earthbound spirits trapped inside.
You're the 13th ghost.
What is everybody's? Does everybody have a first memory of watching this movie?
I thought I watched this when I was younger, but I mean, apparently not. I remember shit from watching it, but I guess I didn't actually just sit down. And
So,
watch
like,
it. I probably just seen bits and pieces.
Ursa
here
has
and there.
repressed memories of watching it, which
Right.
is interesting.
Maybe I watched the made-for-TV version.
Yeah, I saw it on TV sometime in the 2000s.
Ooh.
I had to see it. I seen it as a kid, but I can't tell you like when. I mean, I just remember I watched it a lot. I think I watched it so many times that I just forgot the first time. So I wouldn't say a lot of times, but I've seen it enough times to forget the first time. So
Yeah, this was one of those ones. This showed at Shawnee Square,
at Shawnee Square, that's
which for
anyone.
nobody understands what we're talking about. But back in like the 90s, early 2000s, there were two theaters in town. One was the good theater that had like Star Wars and like the big blockbusters like Armageddon. And then the
Right.
other one, which was located in this area called Shawnee Square, had everything else. It was dark. It was dingy. The floors were sticky as fuck. But like all the horror movies and stuff went to that theater. And it was on that side of town.
Are you suggesting they didn't clean the floors?
I am. I'm
Oh.
not suggesting. I'm not suggesting it. It sounded like you were walking on like Scotch tape. Is
Oh, I can feel that in my
But-
shoes.
yeah, but that was a real movie going experience, man. Like
Right. So
I missed that shit.
So watching it now, Ursa, do you think your suppressed memories of it is warranted?
No, it's not a bad movie.
Not a bad movie. All right. Ben, how about you start getting us through this film a little bit? We might have to toss the baton on this one a little bit.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this film actually starts off fairly quickly. It starts off in a junkyard, and this junkyard set's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I think so definitely in this film they leaned into practical effects. They used CGI where they had to, but they definitely tried to do everything
Right.
as real as they could. Which thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah. Thanks for putting the extra effort.
Right.
So we meet Cyrus and
Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard. His
Dennis
character's name is Dennis. Thank you. So they're talking about spooky things, and Dennis seems to be slightly unhinged. And they're in the junkyard talking about a person. Cyrus is asking Dennis, where is he? And Dennis touches the ground, and we learn that Dennis is psychic. And they continue to talk about this person. He says, you said he killed 9 people. There's over 40 bodies here. Cyrus says he's added some since then. And we find out that this person is actually a ghost.
Can we talk about why they were wearing like see-through plastic jumpsuits?
So I think that's because they were going to spray blood everywhere.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, because they did do that.
They didn't want ectoplasm on
They
them.
had to
Ursa.
have their blood ponchos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's good. That's good.
You know,
Got
Ursa's
no
like, you know
argument
what? Okay, that's fair.
I
It's like,
accept
yeah,
that.
I don't want blood on my jumpsuit, so I'm gonna wear a plastic jumpsuit.
A biohazard suit, because blood is not healthy to be sprayed.
Well, hopefully they went and actually got blood. You know what I mean? Like pig blood or something like that. Not just
Well,
like,
even
went
still.
and got some blood.
But so anyway, they bring out this cube made out of like this glass stuff, which we then learn is called ectoglass. It's soundproof only except for when it isn't. But it is thoroughly indestructible. They do keep that rule, which to me would have been the big sin. Like the sound thing, okay, you're gonna flub on it, but it does prove to be rather sturdy.
Destruction retardant.
It causes a lot of destruction to the human body, but
So they get, and then out comes this giant semi truck full of blood that they are spraying all over the place. And it appears that Cyrus has quite a bit of money because he's got lackeys, he's got guys with electrical equipment, he's
got a truck rigged
He-
up to
He
Spray
must pay
blood.
pretty good.
Huh?
He must pay pretty good.
Yeah.
right.
Well,
So it's like, hey, you want to go hunt ghosts?
apparently he don't. Apparently he don't pay
Right.
because he owes people money still.
Oh, yeah.
just Dennis. And I
Yeah, he was. I
as
think
far
he
as
was
we
just
know,
taking
I mean,
advantage of
neither
that.
has-
I actually believe that he spent all the money on the house and stuff, and then he
Well-
was just planning on stiffing everybody by what comes up next.
Yeah, it's like
He was
he either
gonna
had
trump
a lot of money or he had a big credit card bill. One of the two.
So
Racking up that debt, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how much like a tractor trailer full of blood costs.
well,
It's like-
Let me take a look.
not to split hairs, but you never see exactly how much it was full because they don't spray it for long. So it could be
Yeah,
like
it
a
was
quarter of a
pretty
semi truck
short.
trailer full of blood.
I mean, at that point, you're just wasting money, right? I mean, what
Does
would
he
you
look?
say?
Does-
Give the guys a little chemical sprayers.
And then
full of blood.
that has
They're already wearing the suits.
that's already like a custom job.
Yeah,
Like for to spray out.
it's
the
sprayed
side.
from the
Yeah.
inside of the bumpers.
has to-
Well,
Like,
I don't know.
custom
So
created
there might be some
rig.
sort of rig where they spray like chemicals for fields and stuff with trucks. So there might be an already existing platform to
I'll
do
look
that.
it up.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
they're spraying blood and they get attacked by this. You're gonna have to look this up.
The Juggernaut.
No. The two do-gooders. There's the lady
Oh.
and her.
Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, those guys. And they are screaming at Cyrus.
Kalina, is that one?
Kalina, yep, that's her.
I
And
don't know the fucking other one.
you're gonna have
so-
to scroll way down in that.
I don't even
cast
remember
list.
his name. So.
I don't either. So we're gonna call him Mr. Doctor.
Mr. Dog.
Mr. Doctor.
So Mr. Doctor and Catalina. I'm gonna call her Catalina.
Sure.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
So Mr. Doctor and Catalina are talking to Cyrus and they're talking about how you can't do this, you can't play God, these are human beings, and then the Juggernaut attack.
How would they be playing God with this, though?
I don't
So
know.
collecting souls.
It's not necessarily God's job, though. It's still
Well, 'cause-
God's job. still.
Well, because she explained if you get all those ghosts, then you get the eye of hell. and
Well,
then you
yeah.
see the future and shit.
So there's a lot there that we kind of assume that they've talked before.
Yeah.
Right? So we're getting snippets of a conversation they've had more than once.
But
And
we don't get the exposition. Yet.
We don't, and I'm betting that Cyrus tried to recruit him into it once. So they had this kind of theological debate when it was
And for some reason, they still need Mr. Doctor and Catalina.
no, they're
I think
trying.
They were just sneaking
They're
in.
protesters.
Oh, that's right. They were just kind of there. They caught him.
They're
Okay, that's
they're the
right.
Greenpeace of ghost hunters.
They are, yeah. So before before they can like prove whatever the fuck they want, they start playing this incantation that's on tape, like the big Michael
like
what's
like
that called?
Evil Dead style reel.
Real to
Yeah,
real.
reel to reel
Yeah.
style. And
Why? Why would you have it real?
so my theory is it's a specific reading by a specific person that is causing the effect, and so they just need to
But
keep.
then did the specific person write the shit on the glass walls too?
No, I don't. So maybe possibly.
Don't
We
rule it out.
we simply
again.
don't know.
Like, so for anyone who doesn't know me, I overthink things.
Okay, so let's explore because they use the real to real a lot through this film.
They do.
So why use the real to real? Maybe magnetism.
Why not just get a zoom?
Electronics? Because they really didn't use any electronics to speak of in this film, did they?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Besides the
Well,
real to
no,
real.
because the mechanics of the house were all like gears.
Yeah, so it might just be something to do with electronical things. It's still electronical. I don't know.
I think it has to be that specific recording, and so like there's another instance of this, but it might take too long to explain.
For another film.
No, and it's a real life example.
Oh, we'll just agree that it probably should be, for the sake of it for now, Ursa. It needed to be read by that specific person.
Okay.
It did, and I stand by that. It could make sense.
Which, why that person recorded it down, I don't know. Maybe they just couldn't remember they paid someone.
No, I doubt that very highly.
Like,
But
we're not gonna be able to remember
anyway,
all this.
so they start playing this recording, and the Juggernaut, well, the ghost that we come to know as the Juggernaut,
Right.
comes out and just starts like massacring people.
Starts dropping cars. stacks
pull
of
it,
cars.
right? Folding people in half and
Yeah,
pulling them
yeah.
through.
Folded that guy like a book.
That was
Yep,
that was
in a
Into
good.
the
trunk.
trunk of that car, yeah.
I like that they did make it consistent. Like he was only doing it to one thing at a time. Like,
Yeah, he
wasn't
couldn't
making
be-
multiple things.
He couldn't
at
be
once.
everywhere,
Right.
but
I mean, he was jumping around everywhere.
Right,
but
he
he
was
wasn't everywhere.
right. He was unpredictable in where he would be, but he had to be at one place at a time.
And those guys were the clumsiest guys ever. He needs to get his money back.
You don't have
They
to,
were always falling all
oh
the time.
no, it's cash on completion of the job, dude.
Ah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
Yeah.
So they actually, this poor sap is running from the Juggernaut, and without meaning to, he runs square into that fucking box, and the Juggernaut chases him in there. They slam it shut,
Sorry, brother.
and Juggernaut's caught while he beats the hell out of this poor dickhead that ran into the
And
box.
Shaggy's just yelling for him to stop.
Yeah, yeah. Dennis is not about this. You can clearly tell that Dennis is way in over his head.
He need that money though.
He did.
Yep.
And also they established that there are these clear glasses that have like little tiny white flashlights on them. And when you put these on, you can see the ghosts and the ghost's effects, not just like the ghost itself, but like the lightning and things that seem to surround
Right.
these angry
Ecto glasses.
Yep.
Ectoglasses.
Ecto glasses.
Ectospecs. Bam.
Yeah.
Trademark.
Trademark 2021.
Oakley spooks. But anyway, so you need these glasses to see things, except for Dennis, who can kind of sort of get visions and glimpses of things
Psychic.
because of his psychic fuckery.
Yep.
So by the time everything calms down, we find that Mr. Doctor is dead,
Oh.
and
Got
so is Cyrus. Cyrus got a chunk of metal flung through his neck. So then we flash forward, and we actually get what I think is a fairly cleverly done scene where they start in this house and they show like this family, and we kind of meet this family, and they have the sounds playing in the background of them laughing and playing. And as the camera keeps panning, the house changes to like a less warmer, colder, and then it's burnt, and we hear that there was a house fire. And then that the mom has passed away, and as it rotates, it goes to this cramped up apartment, and we hear them struggling with bills and stuff. We see the unpaid bills on the wall, and we meet Tony Shalhoub, whose name is
Not Monk.
not Monk. It is
I like Monk though. Monk is a good show.
No dead air. Blah, blah,
No
blah.
dead air.
Arthur.
There it is. Arthur and his son, who is awesome. I actually really like his son,
Kid's creepy.
who is completely obsessed with death. His daughter, played by
Nadia.
Nadia.
Shannon Elizabeth, there it is. And their housekeeper, Maggie, who I can remember because Maggie.
Yep.
Maggie. I like Maggie. She's sassy.
Maggie, yeah. Maggie is the babysitter. She's from New York. She is loud. She is mouthy.
She's everything you want her to be.
Yep.
What was the kid reading? Like when he
I think he was like reading the news or something.
Yeah, he was recording his podcast.
Yeah, it was he had a tape recorder, and he was recording the news, but it was also like the death like not really the obituaries, but kind of like the crime sections.
Yeah, 'cause he was reading off statistics. He's like, but suicides are way
up. Yep.
like he was the weatherman.
Yeah, and he's talking about a person was found decapitated behind Dunkin' Donuts, which was funny because he mispronounced it. And Maggie, who's supposed to be like his babysitter, is like, "Nah, this is fine, but it's pronounced decapitated. Get it right, kid."
Right.
She's supportive of the kid.
Right.
I guess, are we led to believe, why do we believe he's into death things? Do we ever cover that? Or he just kind of is?
So
Probably his mom's death fucked him up.
Maybe he was too young for that.
Well, no, not
Well, that was 6 months ago.
yeah, it was only 6 months.
true.
So I'll tell you what I think, and I think they didn't touch on it enough, but I think there's enough in the dialogue to support it. I think that he became obsessed with death, so they sent him to a counselor, and the counselor kind of taught him that it's okay to learn about death and to kind of fixate on it. Because I can't remember what he says. Because remember, Arthur is like humoring him for a minute, and then he says, "Could you find a new hobby?" And the kid goes, "Keeping a record of death is healthy, remember?" And then they all repeat, "Yes, keeping a record." So that sounds like something that his
Yeah.
that his
That makes
counselor.
sense.
So
Look at you listening to subtext in there.
Nice.
There's a subtext to how irresponsible this family was.
How so?
Like the house burnt down, the mom died. Obviously, they had no insurance whatsoever. So 6 months later, and you're living in a cramped apartment somewhere with like past due bills all over the wall.
I'm still trying to wonder how they got to there.
well, so what if? So we don't know because they never touch on what Arthur does for a living, right? That would
He's a math teacher.
Is he?
Yep.
When does it say that?
I don't know, like 3/4 of the way through the movie, he says he's a math teacher when he's talking to the lawyer.
Oh well, I mean,
Well, no
He's
wonder
like,
then.
I'm just a math teacher. The taxes alone on this place is just.
okay. Well, there you go.
So then the mom, what was she then?
She
She had to be the breadwinner,
Dead.
I guess. Dead? Okay. She
But
is dead.
still, life insurance, people. Life insurance. Homeowners insurance.
Especially if she is the breadwinner. Get life insurance on that bitch.
Definitely.
Take care of your assets, people.
and definitely do as we say, not as I'm currently doing. Because
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, I have renter's insurance.
because you're probably required.
No.
Oh, look at you,
I mean,
responsible adult.
I have homeowners insurance, definitely.
Oh well, you.
I do not have a life insurance policy.
Sorry, Bailey.
Well, no
She
motive for
wouldn't
murder,
get
at
it
least.
anyway.
Right, that's true.
It
Anyway,
all goes to
go to-
Gypsy.
so he's a math
Yeah, go
teacher.
into a trust for Gypsy.
He's a math teacher. She was the breadwinner. She died, couldn't afford the house.
Right.
Well, they couldn't afford the apartment.
And now they're destitute.
All because they didn't have health insurance or life insurance.
Both, you know.
Get
Well-
insurance, people. If there's anything you take from this.
So either way, they're
Mhm.
completely fucked.
Irresponsible. Family.
They're fucked
Yeah.
6 ways from Sunday when it
Yep.
comes to the bills.
But then,
Then this
knock, knock, knock.
not comes this lawyer who I don't know if he just naturally looks like he's made out of rubber
Or
or
he's a lawyer.
You don't trust lawyers or something?
yeah.
No.
Well, what I'm
It
saying is
depends on what kind of lawyer they are.
a defense lawyer.
It depends.
So, but what I mean is, I don't know if they did something like with his makeup and stuff to make him look like, because his character is a lawyer, it's
I
like
think
we want him to look artificial,
like a
artificial human.
like American Psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he would greet people by going, "Hello, fellow human."
Right. Yeah. And he has them watch this video saying, "Hey, your dear old Uncle Cyrus that your kids didn't know about," and you find out it's because the family hated him because he squandered the family fortune. And
We have a family fortune?
well,
No.
no, he squandered it.
Which it was a creepy ass video too. I wouldn't be sitting there looking at it like, oh, that's cool.
Right, he was sitting there like smoking, I think.
Right, with that
like,
background,
yeah.
with
Right,
like all the
yeah.
shit in the background.
And he was
And it-
shot in standard
yeah.
definition.
And,
And
the,
it keeps,
the
like-
player kept
Michael.
closing and reopening
Right.
on a different part of the video.
Right. It's like, why is it doing that? It's like you made a video with the background and then you recorded yourself closing and opening different video clips just to make this video. I'm just like,
theatrics, Ursa.
Strange
Jeez.
aesthetic choice.
Well, so what if he didn't film it all at one time? What if it was like a day, like he did a little
it
bit?
looked like he did. He was
Right,
on the
but-
same-
he's got some pretty good fucking continuity if he did.
Right. Well, I mean, you could say that what if like his routine is like he did this and then he put on his jacket and then he would sit down.
I think he just edited the video for aesthetics.
Yeah, even if he didn't record it all at once, he still had to put it together that way with the thing in the background.
He hired
Well,
a
the
guy.
thing in the background, I won't deny. I was like, that's why would you put like a culty background
Right.
out of that?
So
That makes no sense to me.
theory-
I'll grant you there.
Never mind. I already forgot what I was doing before. It was a dumb joke anyway.
But so they get this message, and basically he's like, I have done and seen some incredible foreboding dialogue. And then he's like, by the way, I'm leaving you this house. And they're like, we've got a house. And I actually really like that Tony Shalhoub's like, hold the fuck on.
Man.
This guy is skeptical as all hell, which is nice. He's just
He don't
like,
trust his uncle.
no, he's like, I have a house for you. And he's like, why?
As any human should be like why you
Yeah.
give me this great thing?
The whole time he's like, I don't want this.
Nope.
And they're like, well, let's go look at it. He's like, okay. So they go and they get up there, and it is the most ridiculous cube you've ever seen in your life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Which is
It's a
what
giant
this movie
glass
reminded
cube.
me of.
The cube?
The house, yeah. The cube. Yeah.
I don't think I've
yeah.
watched the cube.
I've never seen that movie. I know what you're talking about, though.
It's a good movie.
All right.
I'll have to check it out.
I
Yeah.
can't trust your and Tyler's opinions on what a good movie is. You're not as bad as Tyler, but you're in the same league at least.
Yeah, it's like a giant Rubik's Cube that they're stuck in, and there's like traps in the rooms, and they solve it using math.
Yep. I can't trust you.
Boy, I'll tell you what, that's the first horror movie I've ever heard of where even with my ego, I'm like, I would be dead on the first round.
Yeah. Just nope. Not did. Nope. Anyway, they get up.
2 equals. Oh fuck! Oh,
Oh.
fuck!
It was very hard math.
Oh, I
It
would-
was like-
no, for me, I would just sit there and look at him and be like, what like pleasure are you going to get out of this?
Right.
Hey man, fuck you. This
Yeah,
is fucked up.
Like,
dude.
yeah, like
At
you're
least
you're
with
clearly
Saw, I can lop off my fucking
right.
leg
You're
or
clearly
something,
wanting
and
me to struggle. This is not a struggle.
trigonometry. I will take physical torture over calculus. You motherfucker.
I have a better chance of surviving it.
Yeah.
Put me in a Saw movie any day. All right.
Yeah, no. Jigsaw is merciful compared to whoever got the cube.
Yeah, that's rough.
All right, we
So we get up
diverted
to
a
this
movie.
Rubik's Cube house.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
made out of glass, and it's got the etchings on it that had. It looks almost identical to the cube they used to trap the ghost in,
Right.
Bigger.
but way bigger.
Yeah.
And we pull up, and there is a truck up there that's got electrical equipment, and there's a guy in an orange jumpsuit looking to
Yep.
get in, and he claims he's from the power company. And when he turns around, it's Dennis.
Damn,
Dennis.
Matthew Lillard's back, bitch.
Shaggy.
And
Mhm.
it's funny watching him try to play the gas guy, because one thing that Ian, you pointed out when we were watching this, and I agree, and I think it's actually to his compliment, is Dennis always feels like he's just on this side from losing his marbles.
He's so close to just having a mental fucking break. He looks like he's constantly having an anxiety attack, and he's just such a dick. He's like, I don't have time. Why are you asking me questions? There's fucking ghosts. Let's fucking leave.
But in this point, at this particular moment, he's trying to play like a normal human being.
But he's still like an anxious prick.
Yeah, so yeah. And he's like, I need to get it. You know, you got this house is knocking out all the power. And like, I tried counting out 5,575 houses without power. And you're like,
Right.
that number doesn't sound right at all.
It's probably close. It's
And
fine.
the lawyer's like, get fucked. And Tony Shalhoub lets him in, and they go into the house to investigate. So at this particular, so we go inside the house and it is, I don't know, how would you guys describe it? Antique?
Antique? No, modern
glass.
antique, I guess. I don't know.
Steampunk.
Steampunk antique. It's got old shit from every point in time you can think of from every place across the globe.
But it's placed in
Right.
a futuristic looking house.
Right. yeah.
But it's in this house that's made
Very
complete.
organized hoarder.
Yeah.
You know, I get behind that. Organized hoarder house.
Yeah. But I mean, this stuff is, if you were going to be a hoarder, this is shit you would hoard. Because like when they go, no, I can resell that. Most of the time when you're a hoarder, you're like, you can't resell an empty egg carton, dear.
Yeah, you can't do it.
But this shit is like, no, yeah, you could resell this.
Right. Yeah. Decorative antiques.
Yeah, because you're saying like if you're that kid, you're like taking all this and stuff.
Oh yeah, like all the little he's like, look, a samurai sword, and his dad's like, in your dreams, pal, and he puts it back. I'm like, yeah. The minute my dad was like turning his back, I'd be like, well, that's going down my pants.
That belongs to
Fuck
me
yeah,
now.
Samurai sword.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
Jesus, this kid is way better behaved than I would have been, and I was a pretty decently well behaved kid, believe it or not. I just that's
Not-
something like
Or not.
something like that would have just been too much. So we go through. The daughter is in the bedroom, freaking out about the great bed. Maggie is racing around with the kid, trying to have fun.
Who's riding a scooter everywhere?
Who is
like
riding
Danny
one of those
Torrance.
razor scooter like a prick?
Because
Yeah.
there's no carpet in this house.
Nope. It's got this room in the center that's got like
That's a
big-
good point. It's all glass. That would be slick as shit. Can you imagine like spilling a little bit of water?
Oh, you're falling.
Yeah, you're fucked.
Oh no.
Did we see the kitchen?
No,
No, I don't think they ever.
we
showed.
never see the kitchen.
We never seen any of the exposed plumbing, did we? Not even
No.
in the bathroom.
So the
point.
bathroom had the
Yeah,
cube
the,
like,
glass that
yeah,
was
the
like
block
fog
glass.
fog
yeah.
the,
So
Saved
there
by the
was
Bell
privacy
glass.
in certain areas.
Sure.
Just enough. Just enough. It's like they're sitting on the toilet, but I can't tell if they're pooping or peeing. So
Right,
that's
yeah.
fine. I can see their outline through the glass.
Right.
They appear to be naked. I'm not sure.
Oh, their hands going back, forth, back. Oh,
Oh,
Oh no.
It's getting faster. Moving on.
Well, at least I can't see the details. No, the glass is soundproof. Fish.
yeah. Sometimes.
Sometimes. When it's convenient.
So they all agree that they're going to take it after the kids and the babysitter kind of browbeat Tony Shalhoub because he's like, I'm a math teacher. I can't afford the taxes on this. I can't afford any of this. And the lawyer's like, listen, the fortune that your uncle squandered went to paying all of that. Like this will cost you absolutely nothing to take over whatsoever, which I question legally.
Yeah,
but
I don't think it works like that necessarily.
I mean, it
but-
might. I
maybe.
mean,
I mean, taxes go up. That's like the problem there.
He might got a
Right.
fixed rate on taxes. I don't know.
and he might have set up a trust to where it just pays. for
Yeah,
that
maybe.
shit.
Yeah, maybe
Maybe.
like a trust. I couldn't see him just being like, I took care of it. The government won't bother you.
Right. So maybe he took all the money and put it into a trust that sinks.
Regardless, we eventually find out it's all bullshit anyway.
Right,
So
well-
we can speculate all we want.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
Was the trust fund non-existent or was the prepaid taxes non-existent? We don't know.
I would have sold that fucking house.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't even look at that. Okay, you say you're rich enough to big house? Okay, sell it.
No, oh no. I would have cleaned that house out. Like I would have removed every single piece of furniture or antique thing, and then I would have sold that house, and then I would have kept what I wanted, and I would have sold the rest.
I wonder how easy it would have been to clean that house
Oh,
just
Christ.
over the years.
I blow my own head off thinking about it.
Just the dust, man.
Can you imagine? Like, can you imagine if you hired somebody to do windows?
$50 million.
A year.
And then-
So the kids kind of browbeat Tony Shalhoub into taking it, and the whole time they're kind of discussing this. Dennis, pretending to be the power guy, is like, I'm going to check out the meter downstairs because this house is really fucking weird. And he gets down there, and in the basement are prison cells that contain all of the ghosts that they have captured. Also, at the very beginning, when they were dealing with Mr. Doctor and Koala, they talked about how they were capturing 12 ghosts, but Mr. Doctor said they needed a 13th, which Dennis didn't seem to know anything about.
Well, he kind of learned about it back at the junkyard when Mr. Doctor kind of said, "You never get the 13th ghost."
Right, but I mean,
But
Dennis
he didn't know why.
Dennis doesn't know anything about the 13th ghost. He said,
The
you only
13th
hired
ghost,
me
what
for
are you talking
12,
about?
and Cyrus says yes, and then one more, and then everything pops off, so they don't get a chance to kind of expand.
Oh, poor Dennis.
So Dennis gets down there and finds all 12 of these fucking things in prison cells. And I'll tell you what, this is the part of the movie. So if I were rating this movie as like a 1 through 10, just flashing ahead, I would rate this movie as a 4. But the ghosts, in my opinion, ratchet this up to at least a nice 6, because I think despite some of the effects not looking great, I think they went ham on these ghosts trying to come up with something that was new, that was different, that you hadn't seen before. They all had fleshed out backgrounds, which was great. Like, I actually really dig these ghosts.
Yeah, I think they were definitely well designed, and the makeup and everything was great.
Yeah, the makeup and costume design for all the ghosts was really good.
You agree, Ursa?
Definitely.
Definitely. What was your favorite one? Favorite ghost in there?
Honestly, the big fat baby and like the grandma.
Yeah.
This shit was
That
hilarious.
is such a weird man. That is a scene. What about you, Ben? What was your favorite ghost in the mix?
So that was called The Great Son and
The
Dire Mother.
Dire Mother sounds right.
I'm getting that. I'm getting the mother part wrong. I know I am, but it's that's the one I always get wrong. There's one that I always get wrong. My favorite is actually the Jackal.
The Jackal.
That's the dude with the straight jacket with the cage, and I think he was the creator's favorite too, because even though like the Juggernaut and the Hammer are like the big guys that have kind of the big scenes, the Jackal, whenever they refer to the Jackal, there's always like some undertone to him, right? Like Dennis refers to him as the ghost of Charles Manson. When they're going through the Black Zodiac, Care Bear refers to him as the sign of Hell's Winter. She doesn't qualify any of the other Black Zodiacs like that. So there's this kind of note. I kind of feel like they were like, we like him the best.
Yeah, I feel they gave special attention to like the Jackal and the breasted woman. What was her name?
The Angry Princess.
Angry Princess.
Yeah, the titty lady.
The titty lady. What was your favorite one in the group?
I like the titty lady.
The titty lady.
No, although the scene in the bathroom
I was
where
gonna
she was
say,
like
there's-
behind her in the mirror was
Right.
actually
There's
pretty
good,
creepy.
you know.
You know her
Oh.
because of the bare boobs, but they give her a scene that's really actually pretty good.
Yeah. I like the creepy little kid with the arrow through his head. I'd
Oh.
probably pick the Jackal, but since we've already talked about that one, I like the creepy little boy too.
Yeah, I'd probably have to go with the guy with the nails on him. What's his name again?
The Hammer.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd
like the big
him.
like railroad spikes and nails and shit through his head.
Yeah, it's just such a scene of a character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, the Jackal is too. Just fucking cage on the head. That's the Jackal, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's all these guys are just such a scene of a character. Like,
Yeah, they're and I'll tell you what, and I highly encourage anybody that's listening, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. They did the full bios of these ghosts, like who they were, how they died, and why they ghosted up the way they did. And it's read by the guy that played Cyrus.
Oh, okay.
So that's a good narrative voice.
Mhm.
the only ghost that kind of off puts me is like, was it the Prince? Was he?
Yeah, the Prince.
Yeah.
The
seemed
1950s car wreck.
Yeah, he seemed just like such a 1950s bro. Just he's such a bro character looking kind
Is
of
that
guy.
the one with the bat?
Yeah, just a
Yeah.
bro character.
Well, he was the like if
I mean,
he was
yeah.
captain of the ball team, he was all American. Like, yeah, he was
Yeah.
that guy.
What
That's
a bro.
But that's why they picked. That's why Cyrus picked him. Right, is they had to be these distillation of these characters.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, they were all really well, without doubt, very well designed ghosts. There was definitely a portion of the budget for this.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
Dennis goes down there, and when he sees all this, he, to his credit, immediately is like, "This absolutely not," and he runs upstairs, and he starts trying to plead with Dennis or Arthur to leave, and it's got nothing to do with money. He's like, "Get your kids out!" Like this.
If he came
Right.
into me like that, though, I don't think I'd want to listen to him
I'm
either.
not.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not arguing for his approach. I'm
He
arguing
did
for.
kind of look like a crackhead, didn't he?
Oh,
Of
right.
course he
Yeah.
did. Yeah, listen, I'm not arguing his approach. I'm arguing his intentions.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just like, time to go. Like, fuck
He
this
was
shit.
really concerned. He didn't care about the money. He was wanting to get the kids out in the family. He wasn't a bad guy.
No, not at all.
So he comes out and he has to kind of to get them to what he thinks will make them take him serious is he kind of drops the facade and says like, "Hey, my name is Dennis. I hunted." And like, I think he feels like this will make them take him more serious if he doesn't use the word ghosts, but it's also like, dude, just
Yeah, just
All
use
right.
ghost.
rip off the Band-Aid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he says a bunch of other shit. and it's
Wraiths, dispersed spirits.
like remnants or something.
Remnants,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like Tony Shalhoub's character because of any situation throughout this whole film, he's just like, okay, hold on, let's figure this out. Kind of, he's like, what's going on? Kind of
Yeah.
character. Like,
Yeah, he very
Even this guy's manic episode, she's like, let's hear what you guys say.
right. Well, he's kind of like, okay, this guy's clearly having like a mental break, so I just keep him calm.
yeah.
But the lawyer's like, oh no, I know this guy. He's gonna, he's
been
crazy.
harassing my office.
Yeah, he's
for-
crazy.
yeah.
Next thing you're gonna know, he's gonna say that Cyrus owed him money. And Dennis is like, you know what? Since you brought it up, he did owe me money. He owed me a shit ton of money. But the way he said it, he's like, but I don't. The rest of that sentence would have been, but I don't even care. Like, 'cause he was just like, and he goes immediately, like, he's like, but I'm saying, get your kids out of the house. Like, next. Which, if I were Arthur, that would have made me listen to him a lot more. Because I was like, he's not even touching it.
Right. Well, at the very least, I would have been like, this crackhead's in the house, and I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, at the very
Call
least, like, I need to
police.
get away from this
Get
guy.
my kids in the
So
car.
the lawyer is just like, you know what? I'm not listening to this. And he goes to the basement.
Oh yeah.
He's like, you know what? You can listen to this guy's stupid story if you want. I'm going to exit stage right. He goes down to the basement, gets his briefcase full of money, which trips a switch, which then starts releasing the ghosts out of their prisons one at a time, starting with the angry princess, who he's in a brash of what I can only call flash stupidity, decided to compliment her tits as he walked by.
Right.
Oh yeah. 'cause
Did he-
Didn't he grab the glasses or something?
Yep, he's got glasses on. This lawyer knows what's up. He knew about the ghost the whole
Right.
time.
Did he trigger everything to happen?
When he picked up the briefcase, it lifted a trigger
Oh.
plate, a pressure plate that started the
well,
whole
he
thing.
was set up.
Yeah, he was.
It's all part of the plan.
Love
Well-
how the plan comes together.
So the princess comes out, and this woman is so there. Oddly enough, I remember this. There was a big, like, kind of not kerfuffle or anything, but there was a thing about who played the angry princess, right? Because it was this woman that had never done film before, I don't think, and like people thought that it was a pseudonym for this porn star for a really long time. So everybody just kind of thought it was this particular porn star who played the angry princess, and then it came out like 7 or 8 years later. This woman's like, nope, it was me.
Why they make such a big deal about it?
Because
The internet's weird.
because she was
Boobs.
Boops.
yeah
Boobs.
people. I'm assuming they wanted to try to see if she did more adult material without the cuts all over her, because that kind of ruins, or at least it should.
So what you're
It,
into?
yeah, it should ruin it.
It should ruin it. It should, gentlemen. It
Somebody's
should.
like, ah, man, can't find anything else over, but I could probably jerk off to this.
It's not what I wanted, but okay.
I'll settle. I mean, I was 2001. I was probably 10 or 11. I wasn't quite there yet. Maybe I was. I don't know when I started jerking off, guys.
we don't need to go.
We-
into
let's
we
not-
this.
let's
This
not-
isn't the
just-
porno show.
Yeah.
So
Dr.
anyway,
Phil.
what the angry princess is a beauty queen who fell under the pressure, and it's implied, and I know this because I watched the things about who they are and stuff, but in the bathroom scene they imply that she killed herself and she cut herself all over her body to ruin the beautiful looks that everybody liked so much about her.
So she's like Britney Spears? Like Britney Spears shaved her head to whatever, because weird.
Sure.
Next.
Anyway,
Leave Britney alone,
not
guys.
touching that.
So she's got the knife that she killed herself with, and she's coming towards this guy, going to kill him when he's backing up. When this glass door shuts, but it closes together like one of those Star Trek doors and cuts the dude in half.
Which I always question physics. I allow movie physics to get away with a lot, but like, would he be up that long?
Probably not.
So I don't, you know what? Maybe because like
Blood is sticky, I guess.
blood is
Depends.
sticky, and I've heard that, and this, take this for what you will, but I've heard that like when you touch intestines, they're actually really sticky too, like to the point where it's almost like they're gluey.
Do you ever like field dress a deer or anything?
Well, I would assume there's a little different. Yeah, there's a little difference between deer gut and human gut, though.
Not much.
I would.
Would you? No.
How do we know this?
The only reason why I know that.
I mean, pig's closer, but I mean,
Sure, but I've never dressed a pig. But the only reason why I know that is because I worked in the ER. You get to ask questions that in other contexts would be odd.
Yeah, true. You get away with it in the
So
ER.
I think, and the bone and stuff, I think he would. I think it's okay enough that he stayed up there. I don't find any major.
I think it
problems
was
with
a good scene regardless.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But,
I agree.
and the effects
I
looked
think-
really good.
He
No, I
probably
do-
would stay up for a little bit at least.
Right, yeah. But suspending that, I still believe because his eyes were like looking back and forth. I like to think that would continue in a way.
It probably would, because you can suffer a lot of brain damage and still.
Well, because it would hold in the way if we're assuming it was physically possible for him to have been bifurcated like that, blood would have been held in long enough for him to remain, I don't know, not fully dead. Because like there's like car crash victims and stuff that get like cut in half, but they remain alive until that's separated because
like,
they're
like
was that guy did a study with that convicted felon or whatever they were going to kill
when
him.
They decapitated him. Yeah.
And he like was responding with blinks for like 8 minutes or something like that.
I don't know if it was that long, but I know what you're talking about.
I mean, going all the way back to the French when they were guillotining people, they were actually saying like you could ask them questions and the head would try to answer.
Yeah, that's how this guy got guillotined, dude. And he was like blinking to respond because they had all worked it out before.
Could you imagine a worse kind of hell though? Like,
what? It'd be quick.
I mean, you're still
you wouldn't feel anything
8 minutes.
8 minutes of
Or
just
you
your
wouldn't
head
feel
laying
anything.
there.
You wouldn't feel anything.
You're
You'd
still
be
aware,
in so much
though.
shock.
Yeah,
but I don't think
Maybe.
it's that long.
I'd hate to be aware that I'm
I
head
going
on
off
the ground.
of like let's just assume 8 minutes for the sake. I mean, if it's 60 seconds,
Yeah, any amount of time that you're
It
still.
would feel like 8 minutes. If it was 60 seconds.
it would, yeah, because you would just be it'd be like being a head on a stick, right? You would just fuck it.
I don't want it. I don't want to be just
You're
a
like
head.
somebody moving me around. I'm like, what the fuck?
What is happening?
No way.
What his eye? Going back.
I don't know
Would
if
his
his
eyes work
eyes-
because your eyes go to the back of your brain?
Yeah.
Right.
It's your ocular. Yeah, the part that controls your eyes is in the back of your head.
I'm analyzing this. I'm with you, Ursa. I'm analyzing it too much.
So it was about like what?
Yeah.
I think they could still now whether or not he'd actually be able to see because his pupils,
Right.
But I think the muscles
Like moving around, probably. Because I mean, that's not what moves your eyes is these little muscles inside between your eyelid.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
maybe he's looking around trying to figure things out. He can't see anything.
Yeah. So
Maybe.
he's probably looking around wondering why he can't see.
Right. So anyway, she didn't actually get to kill him.
She doesn't, but she hears them like
Unfortunate.
she hears people upstairs, and that's when we get the scene of
Shannon Elizabeth.
Channel. God damn it! Why does her name just? What am I gonna? I'm gonna call her
She's
Nadia.
so
I really
freaking
did.
hot.
I kept calling her Nadia.
I
Just
did.
joined the bandwagon.
So I didn't want to do that because like Nadia's kind of like she showed her tits and that's what she's known for. And in this, she's trying to be a legitimate actress. I tried. I really tried. Nadia it is. So Nadia is in the bathroom and the angry princess comes in there and that's where we get basically what is the explanation for the angry princess's kind of backstory, right? If you look at it, you can put together what her story is.
Right.
There's blood all over the bathroom. It says "I'm sorry" written in blood. She's standing behind her looking in the mirror. The angry princess is trying to like adjust her makeup and her hair. And then she teleports her happy. Actually, she doesn't teleport. They do a nice little scene where you see her get into the bathtub, but you don't really see it. It's showing it's showing Nadia looking in the mirror, and you see the curtain of the shower just lift up and then go down. Which is her getting into the bathtub, which was nice.
That's all we need. And then we start getting the flashes of what she's seeing, and with we can see with the princess.
Yep.
And this bathtub of
But
blood.
Nadia is just seeing just crystal clean bathroom.
She was
The
so happy to have her own
Blood is
bathroom.
coming out of the sink, but to her it's clear water.
Yeah.
And she's splashing it all over
her face. And she's leaning over the tub, even though the angry princess is in it, and the blood is up to her boobs. And the princess is actually kind of looking angry that Nadia doesn't see her. She's like, "What the fuck? I'm right here."
Which I'm still confused because toward the end of the scene, getting pissed at everything, she goes to stab her.
Yeah,
but she doesn't stab her though.
No, that's because Tony Shalhoub busts in.
Yeah,
but why wouldn't she just stab her still?
Plot armor.
Plot armor. Got it. Go on.
Yep. So, God, without trying to get into the discussion of what possibly a ghost's motivations would be.
It's just plot armor, man.
Just
plot armor.
Yeah, for the sake of sanity, we're going to say that because they didn't want her to be stabbed.
Yeah, but she definitely would have been stabbed in real life.
I don't know. You never see the angry princess actually stab anybody.
Does she kill anyone?
No. Well, she helps them kill somebody at the end, but that's not like
that's a little different.
She doesn't knife them. Yes.
Yeah.
So while this is going on, while they're in the bathroom and we're having the angry princess scene with Nadia, Arthur is having an argument with Dennis about this whole thing, and the house starts to shift now that all of the thing's been triggered and the first ghost is free. The walls shift, so exits are now blocked off, and the whole house like changes shape.
Yeah.
Except for certain rooms, and I'm betting that's because it has structural requirements. There are certain peripheries that can shift, but the core of the house can't.
I like to think it's definitely designed to kind of corral the ghost to where they need to be.
Probably.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, they teleport there at the end with the spell.
No, they get all the doors just open up to like their direct path to it.
Well, yes, but we see that. So the mom is the only. Well, spoiler alert. We'll get there. God damn it! Quit jumping ahead, you motherfuckers. But anyway,
I just think it was a form to corral them, my personal opinion,
and to keep the people inside.
Right. Well, you know, if you think about this, if they all just stayed in the spinning room, none of them probably would have got killed. They could have ended exactly like it did.
Right up until you fucking starved to death.
Yeah, but they had to go get the kid because the kids didn't listen and ran off.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If everyone would just stay.
God damn it, kids, listen to your parents.
Okay, so
This is why you listen to your parents.
So
Most
also,
of the time.
Most of the time.
Also, while the room is shifting and changing shape around Dennis and Arthur, Maggie and the son are racing, and Maggie loses him.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a quick little bitch on that.
Yeah,
razor
he's on that
scooter.
fucking razor scooter. So he gets lost and makes his way down into the basement, and we start hearing the voices because he's got the tape recorder that he was recording the death stuff on, and you can hear the voices coming from the tape recorder. There's a female voice telling him to come down and trying to beg him down. There's another female voice that's trying to warn him to stay up top. He gets down there. He gets confronted by two ghosts. It's the torso, which is the gentleman in different pieces in saran wrap,
Which seems like the most useless ghost.
Worst
there.
ghost ever. Yeah.
The effect was really cool, though.
Yeah,
They
but
did a
there's
good
no,
job
like
with that
if you're a
effect.
ghost,
Like,
you're
what do
gonna be
you-
a torso ghost. Where the rest of your body go? I guess.
Or
And
just
then-
kick you over.
Yeah.
And then the other
It's
one,
like a turtle.
and then the other one is the bound woman, which is the girl hung from the neck. He
Oh, we
That's
got
another
the
useless ghost.
pilgrim too, right? The girl. Is the
he doesn't see the pilgrim.
Oh, he don't see
Just-
the pilgrim.
Yep, he just gets hit by those two. He falls down and it's kind of left up in the air. It's like, oh my god, what happened to Bobby? Is his name?
Sure.
I remember now because
Oh,
they were all
okay.
Bobby,
Bobby.
because they're all yelling like Bobby, don't come
Sean?
down, Bobby. It's Bobby. Stop it.
Sean!
There's no Sean.
It's always been Bobby's.
It's always been Bobby.
Mandela effect.
So
It is Bobby.
yes.
I
So
was talking about like that heavy rain. You guys play
Oh,
Heavy
that
Rain?
glitch where
Yeah, you're just running around saying, Sean, Sean, Sean.
there's. Have you ever played Heavy Rain?
I know, but I know enough about it.
There's a glitch where you were like yelling for your son, and then it doesn't stop. So just as the scene continues to play out, you just hear the character keep going, Sean.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway.
We digress. So he gets confronted by these ghosts.
Right, and then he's got the glasses on so he can see him. The glasses fall off, and it's kind of left up in the air. What happens to Bobby?
Oh no, Bobby.
So when the house starts to shift, Arthur starts yelling for everybody. Shannon Elizabeth, ta-da!
Yay.
Shannon Elizabeth hears him calling, so she leaves the bathroom, thus saving herself from the princess's knife. And they get there, and he's like, "We've got to get everybody out." And he's like, "Get Maggie and Bobby." And she's like, "I don't know where they are." Then he's like, "Bobby's with Maggie." And Maggie comes walking up. She's like, "I lost Bobby." And he's like, "What the fuck do I pay you for?" And we all go, "We were wondering the same goddamn thing, Arthur." And they go take off to try to find Bobby. And then they get to the basement where that's when Dennis kind of like puts his limp noodle foot down. And he's like, and I like most of his dialogue, but this was definitely like the worst dialogue he had where he said, "Did I say there was a petting zoo downstairs? No, there are ghosts downstairs, Arthur."
I thought that was funny.
It was
It's not
funny.
a comedy.
It was,
Ursa.
yeah, that wasn't, I don't think it was meant
If
to.
this wasn't a comedy?
There are funny parts in it. I don't think that part was meant to be funny.
He did deliver the line pretty weird. I mean, I don't
He's
think
good
I think the dialogue didn't have a chance anyway.
Yeah.
But
But by and large, I actually enjoy the dialogue, but that one was.
Yeah. I say there's a petting zoo down there. No,
There are ghosts downstairs, Arthur.
Feel a little woozy.
Yeah, it was definitely that.
Yeah,
There definitely was some of that. So, but he's like, you know what? And I feel bad for Dennis because this family lies to him all the time. Because Arthur's like, if you help me find my son, I will pay you what my uncle owes you.
It's
And
like you don't even know how
But
much
he has no money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So Dennis is like, all right, God damn it, let's go.
fucking just bunch of liars in this family. No, you know what? They deserve to die.
Ooh,
But they
that was-
Irresponsible liars with no situational awareness whatsoever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in just a moment.
average American family.
Oh, did you?
Don't you touch that.
I don't have it.
Oh, it's a different one. Hallelujah. Praise be to the electronic gods. Praise be the Omnisire. But anyway, so they go downstairs and they find that the cages are now open, and Dennis is freaking the fuck out, and he's like, screw, if that's the jackal, that's the ghost of Charlie Manson, if he's free, like, fuck the kid, we got to get out of here.
Right.
And that's when they split up.
Because that's always the best idea.
Yep.
It's Maggie with Dennis and Arthur with Shannon.
You're just firing on all these names now, aren't you? You got it.
It's a delicate balancing
Yeah.
process.
It's like at least the hallways downstairs changed.
Yeah, you know what I do in an ever-changing house? I split up with the group. That's what I
Right.
do.
Yeah.
But did the hallways change
Yeah.
downstairs?
Yeah, because when they were getting chased around, they
That's right, because
moving around.
Maggie and Dennis get cut off.
Whoops.
Whoopsie. Copyrighted.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they split up, and Maggie and Dennis get attacked. They don't get attacked.
No, they
No.
see the one.
So Dennis and them end up by the Hammer's cage. He hasn't been let out yet, and he's this big hulking African American guy with like railroad spikes all through him. His hands cut off with a sledgehammer.
Is he supposed to be Paul Bunyan or what?
So he was, without getting too far into it, he's probably exactly what you think. He was like, I think he was a slave who worked on the railroads or something, and he's kind of not Paul Bunyan, John Henry.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like
Paul
a
Bunyan.
Paul Bunyan's
was
the guy, Babe Blue Ox.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's the lumberjack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, he's
Close.
very much like a John Henry type character
John Henry, yeah.
who got Candyman.
Oh.
But anyway, so the hammer sneaks up on him and scares the shit out of him through the glass. And Dennis gives Maggie the glasses so she can finally see him. And Maggie's like, "Oh my God, there are ghosts." And he's like, "Yep." And they're walking away. And Dennis gives him the finger for the spook when Dennis gets a flash of like his own death, sees himself being killed by a ghost that we would come to know as the Juggernaut, the one they were capturing at the beginning.
Yeah.
So they're going around, and at the same time, Arthur and Shannon are attacked by the jackal,
Which
This-
is like the most brutal. I think they really did just give extra attention to
they
that
did.
one.
There was something about the jackal that got extra
He
attention.
really likes scratching backs.
yeah.
He's like a cat.
So that guy's backstory was he was in an insane asylum and would attack the other inmates until he got put in solitary, and his nails got all filed from like scratching against the wall. And then he would start attacking people and biting them. So they put his head in a cage and they put him in the straitjacket. The asylum caught on fire, and I can't remember whether they left him or he was just so crazy, like he fought their attempts to try to free him and he died.
I would have left him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, that's kind of
Just
his.
too
And
much-
I'm skipping some
too much
things,
work.
but for the sake
The
of
general overview.
Right.
Yeah.
Broad strokes.
Yep. And a lot of them are exactly like, if you look at them and you're like, that looks like a, you're like, yep, that's exactly what they are.
Nice.
Yep. So the jackal comes up at her and like starts slashing Shannon's clothes and is using his nails to like cut the shit out of her. Arthur grabs her and starts dragging her down the hall because he can't see what's attacking her. He doesn't have the glasses. When
Gretel.
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 Because we ain't told Gretel.
It started with a K.
Karen.
Kalina.
Kalina.
Kalina. Katana?
Kalina.
Catalina.
Catalina. There we go.
Catalina wine mixer. That's right. That's how I remember
Catalina,
earlier.
Catalina, the lady from the beginning who was shaming Cyrus for his collecting, somehow is inside, and she's got these flares, which Cyrus said earlier, they're silver nitrate. So I'm guessing in this universe, silver repels ghosts. Take that for what you will.
Nice.
So she's got these flares, and she has glasses on, so she can see the jackal attacking Shannon, and she throws the flare at it to get it to go away. They drag them to a safe place where is like in the center there's like a center of the library basically.
Yeah.
That is like a safe place where the ghost can't get to. So a nice little convenient rest spot for our heroes.
Nice.
Flashing back to Dennis and Maggie, I believe they get attacked. Or no, they're not attacked. They are what's his name? The son. The kid with the
I think he is just called the
Bob.
son.
no, the ghost.
Oh, the ghost.
The
I think he is
Firstborn.
just the son.
firstborn
Firstborn.
Yeah,
son.
yeah.
The firstborn son. That is the kid who has a tomahawk and has an arrow through his head. Is dressed
How
like
did he die?
okay. So this kid liked to play cowboys and Indians, and he actually was psychotic and like started scalping his friends. When one of when one of them, God, I might be getting this wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's been a long time since I read
Hey,
this.
you tell us what you want. We'll believe it.
Well, I encourage you to look them up because I actually thought they were pretty cool.
I have it.
Okay, go for it.
Says he's the ghost of a bratty little boy named Billy who loved to pretend to be a cowboy. One day, another little kid challenged Billy to a duel, but Billy's cap gun was no match for that boy's real steel-tipped arrow.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the first
Get
one.
them bullies
Don't
back.
Don't play cowboys and Indians, boys.
So anyway, they're being chased down by this kid. They're slowly backing up, and then they make it to the safe zone as well. Actually, I think they kind of interrupt. That's right. They meet them halfway because they're coming around the corner, backing up from the kid when they run into Koala Bear and Shannon and Elizabeth and Arthur. And so they all get to the refuge together, and then the movie takes a break.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah.
we get
Gotta get
that's where
some
Tony
exposition.
Shalhoub gets
No.
attacked by a jackal, right?
You forgot
Oh, that's
that Shannon Elizabeth just disappeared in a goddamn glass hallway. Or is that later? I thought it was right there. At some point, I think it was right there. It was right after they met. It was like give him the glasses.
that's right because
And then she just disappears
they're being attacked by the
while they're 2 feet away. Yeah, he's on the other side of the glass.
they're being attacked by the
Prince?
no
That was later.
the
Or-
woman that's got her head in the locker,
The Pilgrim?
the pilgrim. That's it.
Pilgrim.
The pilgrim, and she's exactly what she looks like. She was a woman accused of witchcraft. Stockade, that's what it is.
Stockade.
Yeah.
She's got her head in the stockades. So they're being attacked. Yeah, so they are, as they're backing up and trying to like get away, they're being chased by her, and then the house shifts, closes off, and they're looking like that thing's clawing at the wall, and they give Arthur the glasses so that he can see, and while they're looking at her, Shannon disappears. And then they're still going back towards the sanctuary when Arthur does get attacked by the jackal.
Yeah.
And gets his back shredded.
Get back scratches.
Yep.
Back
Gets his
scratcher.
back scratcher.
Worst back rub ever.
Yep. And Dennis grabs the flare, throws it at the jackal, and they make it to the refuse. I believe.
And then the movie does take, because that's definitely because they just show a bunch of scenes in the hallways and stuff. It's a bunch of nothing.
Yep.
It's definitely like, calm down. We're safe now.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. We're taking a breath. And this is where we kind of get a little backstory. Dennis and Carabiner gets her
Catalina.
whatever. Explain to
It's
Arthur.
Kalina. That's the real name. It's Kalina, by the way.
Explaining to Arthur kind of basically what Cyrus was up to. And
So if you do something with the Black Zodiac, which is all the different ghost types, then you get the Eye of Hell.
the Oculus
Hey,
Infernum.
You know,
Yeah,
it's weird
which means
that
you can see
Shaggy
the
does
future.
decide to sign up for all this without knowing all this information.
Yeah, but remember, he kind of talks about how, like, he says, you know, in case you haven't noticed, I'm a little bit of a freak, and Cyrus accepted me. He really is pathetic.
He is a
Yeah.
pathetic character.
So it
Poor
makes sense that
Dennis.
he wouldn't ask a whole lot of questions. Cyrus didn't ask a whole lot of questions.
Don't you get it? He was using you, Shaggy.
Yeah. And throughout this whole kind of explanation, Caribbean is really giving Dennis the shit about, like, you know, like, you're pathetic, you helped out, like, all this. And Arthur is really trying to like, stand up for him. He's like, cut him a break. Like, he's clearly
He's clearly a pathetic loser.
right. Like, he
Come
like,
on.
yeah, we get it. He helped, but also, like, quit kicking a pile of mashed potatoes.
And she's
You know,
like, wait,
what?
you didn't tell him, Shaggy?
Right.
Oh.
And that's where they discover, that's where they kind of say that the fourth ghost is Arthur's wife who died in the house fire.
Yeah, and then he promptly punches
Dennis.
Shaggy.
Punches Dennis. Yeah. And
He's just like, why would you do that? He's like, I didn't know you, man. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I still feel bad.
Well, I mean, he didn't know him.
He had no idea.
Right. It
And
wasn't
in
nothing
fact,
personal.
he
to
even
him.
point, yeah, he even points out, he's
Just
like,
does-
Cyrus picked the ghosts, man. I don't know.
Your uncle's a prick, dude. The withered lover is what
Withered
his
lover
wife
is-
turned
And you know
into.
what? Also, in his defense, to be fair, all the ghosts they were catching were pretty murderous ghosts.
Well, that's
You know?
the thing, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
most of them were assholes, except the little kid who got killed.
Well,
yes,
it's always
and then
implied
the
that it's
lady that
I
killed
think they
herself.
talk. So in the biographies, they talk about like how they've killed people after they became ghosts.
Oh, right. Okay. Well,
Yeah, they've all killed.
So as far as
Fuck
Shaggy
that
knows, like, this is just another murderous ghost, really, and you know,
Yeah.
to defend him in any way.
So also the great son and the mother, their backstory is they were circus folk when
Yeah.
the town kind of torched the circus, killed the mom when the great son found out, he grabbed 2 axes and just started like hacking people to death until they had to put him down.
And let's also do a pause and say that torso wasn't killing anyone. They can let that thing be alone.
So we don't see enough of it.
It looks like he was like a mob victim wrapped in saran.
Right.
He was. He was.
Makes sense.
Like you said, just anything you imagine they are, that's what happened. Like, well, that's pretty good. That's at least they didn't make it too clever.
They
like,
are very good at implying their backstories just through the costume.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's why I give this. This is why this movie sits so good with me. I like the ghosts. I really like the ghosts.
They are really well designed and thought out.
So he finds out he has to commit suicide.
Yeah. So they
yeah.
find out that. So they revisit the idea of the 13th ghost. They revisit the idea of the 13th ghost, which is that there are 12 ghosts to set off this machine, which gives them the Oculus Infernum, which is the eye of hell, which like sees the past.
Which Tony Shalhoub, he's a
Why
math
not-
teacher and
why not
knows
just say
Latin
that?
somehow.
Well, he probably learned Latin in school. He looks like a nerd.
Yeah, I was
They
just saying,
taught Latin at my high school.
Why? It's a dead language.
it's
For credits.
if
It's a dead language. It's still used like everywhere all the time
Yeah, it's
for
weird.
any kind of like STEM field.
Yeah, it is
anyway.
kind of weird for them to call it a dead language when we
Right.
use it for all of our scientific names.
Right.
But nobody speaks it.
right. If they had offered it at my high school, I definitely would have taken it.
They just
But why
read
not just say
witchcraft, I guess.
Like, the people, nobody here is fluent in Latin. Why not just say the eye of hell? instead
Yeah,
of-
because she did know that. Because after they figured out,
Oculus
she's like,
Infernum.
very good. Like,
Right.
You could have just said
It's like,
that,
what is a
lady.
fucking Latin
I
class?
thi-
Lady,
I think-
just tell us.
You could have just said that, Carl.
I think it was kind of important because we find out later she was kind of lying about a couple of points, so it's probably why she didn't let him have the book anymore after that point, so he wouldn't read. What was
No,
really
so it
going
was
on.
Dennis that took the book. It's
Yeah,
just-
but if she wouldn't let Tony Shalhoub have it,
right.
Yeah.
So we
Arthur-
find out that there's 12 ghosts to set off the machine, and the 13th one, she claims that the 13th ghost is a failsafe. It is the only ghost to be created out of an act of love. You sacrifice yourself by throwing yourself into the eye to save your loved ones, and thus shutting down the machine.
Yeah, and she didn't let Arthur read that at all because she found out real quick like he can read Latin. Oh no.
Yep. So,
Oh.
so there you go.
That's clever.
Yeah, we work backwards.
Yeah,
today.
because you see her kind of like,
Yeah.
oh, you're right. Crap.
God, what I'm reading this. Motherfucker.
And then then Shaggy takes it. He's like, let me see this. Like,
Yeah, he's
I
like,
can't read
he's like, I
Latin.
don't read Latin.
Then why'd you take it? Just
Because because
just trying
Dennis
to
is a
help.
nice guy. Dennis does not want, like, Arthur's like, I have to do this for my kids. And Dennis is like, fuck all that noise.
He's like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Dennis is like, I'm hearing this and I'm like, wait.
Well, when she was saying that, I didn't think it made sense either. And I'm like, why would he need the 13th ghost? Like in the beginning, when
He
he's
said,
like, you
like-
still need a 13th ghost. So like, why would he need the 13th ghost? If that's the only way to stop it?
maybe that's our first clue that she's kind of being deceiving. in
And
this
Dennis
moment.
drops a hint about it. He's like, that doesn't make sense.
Well, that's not right. Then you got to decide which one do you trust more, I guess.
Yeah.
I trust Den. I trust Shaggy.
Oh, yeah, because once again, Dennis is so well natured in this that at the beginning, he's like, I'm not doing shit. I'm not like, you guys, I tried to get you out. You didn't want none of it. Then they bribe him with money. But at this point, he's like,
And he's just a whore. That's what he is. Whore for money.
no, because
I
at
like
this,
money.
No, this point right here changes all that, right? Because he's actually like, what if we go out one more time to try to find your kids so that you don't have to do
Yeah, and
this?
he knew he was going to die too.
Yeah, he saw that flash. He
Yeah.
knew- yep. So from the very get-go, his entire focus was trying to save those kids and that family.
I wonder why he showed up to the house to begin with at all. Like, what was his first purpose?
Oh, I think
Probably get money.
he was in there to see if there's anything he could steal.
And then he's seen all the ghosts. Which, like, he's seen all the ghosts trapped up, and that triggered him. But, like, he was catching the ghosts with it. What do you think?
Maybe he thought they were going to ghost prison.
Yeah, I
And
imagine.
who's to say that wasn't ghost prison?
Well,
you know?
so I think the tipping point for him was there's a family moving in
That's fair, I guess. All right.
because he mentions the kids every time.
Yeah. Yeah. He cares about kids.
So Dennis is like, what if me and you, like, instead of just flinging yourself into this thing, what if we try to see if we can go rescue them one more time? And they take a door or a panel of that glass that's got the spells on it that keep the ghost from going to and fro. And they go out looking for the kids.
With no luck. Yeah, they're going.
No, they don't.
Where are the kids? That's what
So I think so.
like, because she didn't like put them in danger until later.
Actually, I remember now. Shannon had a scene right before she vanished where she sees Cyrus.
Yeah,
In the house.
Cyrus comes.
Oh.
I think Cyrus, and that explains why. So when we see Cyrus, he still has his throat cut. It's very much implied that he's a ghost.
Right.
in the house. But the thing is they've already counted off all the ghosts.
Which when she sees Cyrus, like because she's seen him in the video, the creepy video, she's like, "You're dead, but
Yep.
here you are," and then she gets snatched.
So they go out and they come across the prince. I feel like he's got more to his name. The one with the baseball bat.
Yeah, the prince, the bro,
Something Prince.
The Torn Prince.
The Torn Prince. There we go. So they come across the Torn Prince, and he's trying to hit him with the bat. They're using the glass as a shield, and they actually manage to like banish him against the wall.
Yeah.
But that actually leaves them to being cornered by the hammer, and Dennis puts Arthur in the corner because he's not maybe, and then and then covers him up with the shield to protect him. And this is like Dennis's vision where he's like, "I'm fucked."
He's like, "This is where it ends."
And so he's
Theon, you're a good man.
no, he wasn't. There was nothing good about who he was or what he did.
Don't trigger Ben.
But anyway,
This podcast takes a direction really quick if that happens.
Yep. Stay focused. 13 Ghosts.
Whatever.
2001. Tony Shalhoub. Monk.
I'm just saying that if I did, I'd have an army behind me saying yes. Anyway, so he's bobbing and weaving on the hammer, and is doing a pretty good job right up until the final switch is thrown, and we see that the final ghost, the 12th ghost, the Juggernaut, is freed. And this is right at the scene where Dennis knows he's dead. And that distraction of seeing the Juggernaut and it all coming together is just enough for the hammer to hit him right between the shoulder blades and basically like render him useless.
Somehow.
Well, I mean, it would.
Oh, probably. Yeah,
Well,
probably.
Yeah.
Like fractured vertebrae at least, right?
And then they just
Probably, yeah.
throw his ass around.
Yep, and then the Juggernaut picks him up and breaks him in half on the corner of the
Yeah,
wall.
that was pretty brutal. I'd forgotten about that.
For a character that you feel a lot that you like and have a lot of sympathy for, that was a they didn't spare.
Yeah, they definitely. Because when he dropped after the hit to the back, I was like, because I didn't remember. Like it's been a while since I've seen this. I was like, oh wait, is that how he fucking dies? Because if I was Matthew Lillard, because he was clearly having a shitload of fun with that.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
whether,
he was
whether you liked his performance or not, he was definitely like, I got to ham it up.
balls to the wall.
I would have been like, bro, if you're writing my death into this script, it better be a cool fucking death. Like if I'm ever in a horror movie of any budget and it's like, you want my character to die, it better be a good one.
Yep, and that
Like,
was.
I mean, to
Yeah.
be fair, he died. You know, he died pretty epic, and we're talking about Shaggy still, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he died in Scream pretty well.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah,
he was one of
yeah.
the villains. You got to kill them.
right.
Yeah, but still
right.
iconic death. Yeah, he does like he dies
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, good job, Matthew Lillard.
So they break him in half and leave him for dead when the recordings from the beginning of the film start playing and the ghosts are summoned. The house lines up so they have a direct beeline to the center of this machine, which we've seen, which is like this big hourglass shaped cog of clumps of cogs.
time
and-
machine.
Yeah.
Clumps
Yeah.
of CGI.
Yeah, and the CGI wasn't good. The thing about the CGI is it was sparingly used to the benefit of the film, but it didn't look good when they used it.
Right. Which, I mean, 2001.
Forgivable.
Right. It's like there are movies that are going to hold up better, but it's like you can't. The majority of movies that came out around that time don't have good CGI.
No.
They did
But-
what they could.
But the
I'm proud of
practical effects, I think, were great.
Yes,
Oh,
they were smart to dump most of it into practical.
And that's
stuff.
where we get to see the withered lover, Tony Shalhoub's Arthur's wife, and
Yep.
he's
Walking around with her IV stand.
half burnt. And they have a moment. He's still. I like how he didn't get out from behind the shield.
So
though.
she
He's-
didn't die in the fire.
No,
She died at the hospital.
right, because they have when they're doing the flash of like everything, we hear the beep, beep,
Oh yeah.
beep, and then it flatlines. So we could also maybe imply that they spend a lot of money on medical bills.
Oof. Yeah.
Oh,
For 6. Yeah. I'd do it.
should have taken out a life insurance policy.
Yeah. If you had a life insurance policy that someone mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, you wouldn't have this problem.
Get insurance, people. So anyway,
So she actually stays until the recordings pull her to the machine, right? She doesn't like the rest of them just kind of are like, all right, well, I have to go, so I'm going. And she's like, nope, I'm going to stay right here and talk to you for as long as I can until the thing literally drags me to it. Maggie is with Care Bear when they find the kind of recordings where this is going to go. And Cyrus shows up and we find out that Koala is actually working for him.
in like the worst way possible. This made me so mad.
Yeah,
it's so
Ursa, I'm gonna
stupid.
let you take this because I actually agree with you. This
It's
was
like
actually not well done.
We go from like this is supposed to be like some kind of badass ghost freeing fighter character or whatever, like
Blair
Hansel and
Williams.
fucking Garrett,
Right.
Hansel and Gretel from the movie Hansel and Gretel, not the like the
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
not
then-
the little girl that gets baked in an oven.
Right, yeah.
The one where they fight. Yeah.
and then but it goes from that to like she's just like this
Really subservient.
yeah
Right.
just like a complete
I got the book
neutered
for you.
lover.
Right. Yeah.
You're not
Like
angry
yes
with
daddy right away daddy.
Like at what point was she turned? I guess when did she become a bad?
I'm assuming
person?
that she killed her brother and faked his death in the junkyard.
Oh, Mr. Doctor.
Yeah, because they were right there. Their bodies were like right beside each other.
Yeah, they never did show the Juggernaut.
Was that even
attack,
her brother?
I
I
think.
keep calling it her brother, but
I
Yeah, I
think
don't know.
I've implied that they're just boinking.
Oh.
I think she might have been like his student or something.
maybe.
Smushing booties.
But it just made me. It was just so stupid. There was just way better ways to.
There
do that
were
Right.
definitely.
She's just
And
like,
instead it's like-
I got the book for you, Father.
Yeah, it made her so pathetic really quick.
Right, yes.
And it was
Yeah.
it was a quick turn.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Like I said, like one of the things they could have done is at the beginning when they're like shaming Cyrus, if they wanted her to be the subservient thing, like when he yelled at them, they could have had her like clam right up and get real shy while Mr. Doctor, you know,
Right, set it up a little, and then the execution was just bad.
It was.
And like I thought, well, maybe she'll be like the saving grace. Maybe she's just going to have a change of heart when the kids are in trouble because she showed that she didn't really want to hurt the kids.
Mm.
But
Nope.
then she gets smushed like a grape.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's like sacrifice requires after she like sets the kids up in the situation that we're getting ready to talk about. He's like sacrifice requires greatness, and the wall closes in and just smushes her, and he's just like, I care more about the style of toilet paper that I buy for my bumhole than I do what happens to this lady.
Right.
Because that's a horrible way to die,
Yeah.
being crushed.
at least two ply people.
Yeah.
At least.
That depends on pressure preference. Do you do the full hand or the two
I
finger
just mean
method? Like-
just one ply is
As long as it don't
Yeah,
fall,
oh,
Okay,
no.
come on.
as
No.
long as it don't fall apart while I'm wiping, I'm
If-
fine.
Then you need at least 2 ply.
Yeah.
They
You
don't make
need
a 1 ply that your finger's not going to
have enough
Hmm.
self-respect to get at least 2 ply.
I just want a bidet already. That's all I want.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
So I was actually at a hotel once that had one, and I gotta tell you what, this thing did not have a knob for adjustment.
too. Ooh.
So
It was
just-
either on or off, and on would have come out my fucking tear ducts. I was like, it was just like, show, and I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, I know we had one when I went to New York in the hotel, and my friend Evan, he just goes in there and turns it on, just shoots all the way across and hits the wall.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, can we have a pressure setting? Like,
Listen, my proud American button is gentle.
Christ. Anyway,
I forget
13 goes.
13 goes, like we were saying.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so she gets smushed, and Arthur, with the path cleared and the ghost gone, Arthur makes his way to the center of this thing, which has, I will never stop hitting the table, Ian.
I know, but there's mic stands.
Some of us don't get mic stands, you pampered.
I offered you this mic stand and you politely refused.
Because I don't need it. I'm not a pansy.
I don't
I'm
know.
a Nancy boy.
Nancy.
Anyway, so they're at the center of this rotating room that has the floor is made out of brass rings, and every so often, and the rings are like spinning in a gyroscope around the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
like the time machine
Yeah.
that Ursa keeps bringing up.
Yes.
The time machine.
The machine in this movie reminds me a lot of the time machine.
it does. So the idea is like he believes that he jumps in and it'll kill him, but the machine will stop and it'll save his kids. And fortunately, Cyrus can't quit, like can't resist being there when it goes down, right? He has to see it.
Right.
Arthur sees Cyrus and he looks over to where the kids are, and then he puts on the glasses and he sees all 12 of the ghosts around the ring.
Mm.
Mhm.
So he counts them all off. And he gets to 12 and he's like, and if I'm the 13th, and he looks back to Cyrus, takes off his glasses, and just starts beating the fuck out of him.
Yep.
For like a hot second.
For a hot second. And then somehow Cyrus turns it around. Well, he has a staff that he starts hitting him with, I guess.
Yeah, he's just whacking him with the cane but he's hitting him like an old man too. He's like, you're worthless. It's like, and he's just like, that kind of hurts.
Oh, I mean,
Jeez.
let's be honest. How much of a fight do you legitimately
Probably
think Tony Shalhoub could put?
Probably Probably not much.
I mean, to be fair, he didn't look. I mean, he was getting hit, but Tony Shalhoub didn't play up like I'm getting beat the fuck with this. It's just like,
Right.
hey,
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's like, hey, that kind of hurts a little bit. Stop.
I
With it,
appreciate-
Uncle Cyrus.
That is Tony Shalhoub's like, I'm getting the fuck beat out of me face.
Oh.
Oh, ow, jeez.
Well,
Why are you doing that?
But anyway, Cyrus explains like he set it all up and like, everything that you kind of put together once you realize that he's not a ghost.
Right.
Although it was really clever of him to stay in like the throat cutting thing, so if anybody saw him, they would think that he was a ghost.
Yeah.
Because for a minute, first time I saw this, I was like, why the fuck is he still like, what? Like, why are you dressed like that? And I was like, oh, it's so he can blend in if somebody accidentally sees him.
Yeah.
which good on him, I guess. That's
Yeah.
good forethought.
It is.
And then
So
Maggie comes to the rescue.
Right. So
He's been knocked out for like an hour.
she got whacked in the head with a book and then it bounced off the side of the wall
We really don't have a sense of how long this movie took
And
over,
then, like,
do we?
one night.
Was it just the
Why
whole
didn't you,
night?
like-
Yeah.
So like each
tie her up or kill her or something.
I guess he didn't think he needed to.
I mean, wasn't in theory each
Guess
time it
she's
goes
out.
through the leaves, was maybe an
So
hour?
if I'm gonna explain that and explain that, and I'm gonna do it out of my ass because this movie doesn't touch either points.
Okay.
I'm going to say that he had to do it at a specific time, like midnight or whatever, and so he just didn't have time to fuck around.
Okay. Yeah, because
That's not supported by any goddamn thing that I've ever heard. But
I can't argue it. Sounds
Fine.
good. Good job, Ben, for explaining that.
thank you. I
Close
wanna,
up those plot holes.
right, like just call me the three little Dutch boys. Put my finger in that damn.
Yeah.
So he's like, I actually summoned you here so that you could become the 13th ghost and turn on the machine because greatness requires sacrifice. When all of a sudden the spells played over the tape that is keeping the ghost in place start going whoa, 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 whoa.
Sound like a DJ scratching.
Maggie has come to and is now fucking with the machine.
Yep, just throwing every lever, pushing every button, just fucking
Why
it all up.
why did he want the gate of hell open? The eye of hell?
It provides you unlimited knowledge.
You get to like see the future and shit and be as powerful as you want.
All right.
The usual stuff when you
I-
make a deal with the devil.
Yeah, you know,
That's
MacGuffin.
fair. I mean, at least you're getting something pretty major for it.
Anyway, so the ghosts get free and they're absolutely pissed at Cyrus for being manhandled like this. So they grab him and fling his happy ass into those spiraling blades. He gets ripped into half and now he is well and truly dead.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, he gets minced
For
like he's
real
thrown
dead.
into a blender.
Oh, and Dennis showed up
Everybody
at
would
one
have been covered in blood.
Well,
Right,
that's
yeah.
not yet. We're getting there.
point.
So Maggie's fucking with this thing, it actually starts screwing up the machine, and the machine goes out of alignment. The gears start clogging up, and they start twitching, and screws and springs are flying everywhere.
But still somehow as a pattern.
Well, yeah, and so hell
She just
machine,
messed
Michael.
She just messed with the settings. It's fine.
So what it allows is for those brass rings to like fold down for a second, and then they start spiraling again. Arthur is trying to think of what to do when Dennis shows up as a ghost, and this is the first time, and this is why I think like his acting all spazzed out was a deliberate choice versus just overacting. Because when he's a ghost, he's calm as shit.
Right. It's the first time he's calm in the
It's
whole
the first
movie.
time he ever
after he's dead. He's
Yeah,
like,
it's
yeah,
the
there's no
first-
stakes now.
Well, I also think that
What
he
am I gonna
wasn't
do,
he
die?
wasn't that open nerve anymore. Like
Oh, right.
Yeah, he didn't have that like
Yeah,
path
yeah,
to
that's
the
true.
dead world or whatever the fuck they call it in this movie.
I am
Yeah,
the
because he
dead
started
one.
having like a fucking seizure when Arthur touched him
anytime
earlier,
somebody would
yeah.
touch him or anytime he'd touch anything paranormal, he'd go into seizures and start seeing flashes of like their memories and stuff. So-
Yeah.
And he actually, if you pay attention to him in the background, he is very conscious of this throughout the film. Anytime somebody hands him something, whether it's in the background or not, he's very careful about, or if like somebody touches him when they're passing the hallways and it's even just slightly off camera, he reacts.
Yeah, he just don't want any visions to come his way.
Nope, Matthew Lillard keeps that in mind everywhere, which is good for him. That's a good
Yeah.
detail to keep
Yeah.
remember it even in the background. But he's perfectly calm and he's got his glasses off and he's like, "You can still do this, Arthur. Your kids need you. Go to them." And Arthur, and that explains why he's so good at timing. He's a math teacher. He can
Yeah.
he counted it all out.
He count
Sure.
numbers good.
Sure.
Hey, listen, have you seen Stranger Things? Our teachers are superheroes.
Oh.
Big wet fart. But he manages to count it out and he leaps over just in time for the rings to go down and he gets to his kids, which this is so besides Kobold turning from a badass witch hunter into like a subservient, shallow lady. My other critique is how was he saving them?
Yeah, he's gonna
Right.
He
jump
just
out
jumped
the
in the
thing.
middle and Bit
Uh-huh.
was there
He
with
could have
him.
just instructed them, been like, all right, jump when I say so.
Well, I mean, they were bound, they were tied up. They were tied up.
One more chance.
Okay.
I can still have a child.
Sucks for Bobby. All right.
The answer is
Shannon.
he didn't save them. He just joined them. is what
Yeah,
happened.
exactly. Because like even when he lands and unties them, the rings are spiraling so much you can't even stand up on the platform.
Right.
So it's like, what were you just be like? Well, this way we die together, gang.
At least we're together as a family.
But
It's
the
a Hallmark
machine-
movie at the end of the day.
Right, but the machine finally like clogs up so bad that it falls apart, and the rings explode.
And somehow they're fine in the
They miss
middle of all
absolutely
that.
everything. Had Arthur not
Yeah.
jumped and just taken cover for 5 more minutes, he'd have been just fine.
Yeah, he didn't.
Yeah, just tell your kids to hang tight. Like, we got this. You guys just chill there. I'll be right behind
So
this
they're
wall.
there. So we see that this thing falls apart and they're fine. And then it flashes to what is framed as a happy ending, but I question. We see all the ghosts are now free and they're running off into the forest. They're fucking frolicking.
For
Yeah.
the sequel, 14 Ghosts.
It's 2001.
We
I said.
film in Bulgaria.
It's one better than the last one. But so yeah, like all these psychopathic serial killing, the
Yeah.
worst examples of humanity are set loose.
The
upon the world
opening
again.
of the movie was the Juggernaut just massacring people.
Right. And so like at first you're on board because you're like, they're
Shot
putting
so
away
many
dangerous
people.
ghosts, but then they're like, and what's funny is the film doesn't even frame it as like oh no.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like-
it's actually got whimsical type music.
Yeah,
with
it's
it.
like,
it's-
yay, the
it's like
murder ghosts
It's
are
like
free.
these souls are free.
It's kind of like the new, the latest Jurassic Park film, like where all
Oh,
the dinosaurs got released. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think we want those out there, guys.
Oh, right. But at least that one was kind of framed to be like, oh no, what's going to happen next? Like, not to stand up for the Jurassic World sequel. I didn't really like Fallen Kingdom. Anyway, at least the end of that movie, it's like, okay, but this is going to be like a thing. Like some of these dinosaurs are a problem.
Right. The end of this
Yeah.
one was just like, oh, isn't it so beautiful that they're free? Like,
It's like, no.
not-
They were
they're-
murderous ghosts.
Yeah, they were definitely better in those cute. Like, I mean, not for Cyrus to fucking use them, but like for the world in general.
Yeah, they could just been left in the ghost jail, like Ursa said. Yeah,
Right.
ghost
Yeah,
show.
yeah. Just lock the house with that crazy key. Off you go.
And
Yeah.
so there's a potential like an argument you can make for the ending of this, right? That somebody could make, but I'm going to provide the argument and then provide the counter argument. The argument could be that the ghosts, because you see them like they're out onto the lawn and then they like flutter off into the air, right? They just vanish.
Maybe they crossed over.
Right. So that would be the argument. I say nay, because there is a ghost that does cross over, in my opinion, and that's his wife. She's, instead of frolicking out in the forest, we flash back to her and she's standing on the machine looking at her family. But the difference is she's completely healed. The other ghosts are not.
Maybe they've vanished to hell.
They're just off to kill people.
No.
Did we see the torso?
He was.
Yeah, he was hobbling his weird
Hey,
ass.
listen.
Woo!
The torso
Someone
is
grab my hand.
the torso is handicap capable.
Oh, okay.
Handy capable.
Handicap.
Yeah, don't you limit him.
Okay.
All right.
But anyway, that's and
Guys, wait up.
the
That's
mom.
like, are they all just friends now, maybe?
Oh my
Oh,
God, they're now like
no.
a pack of ghosts.
Oh, gee.
That's the film we film in Bulgaria.
Right.
13 ghost party.
Yes.
But so she's like, I love you guys, and they get peace. And she like, instead of just disappearing, she like thing of light and like vanishes. And then
All right.
Right.
Maggie comes out and says, I quit. Like, fuck this shit. I'm going home. And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That's 13 ghosts. Yay!
Yay!
All right, now let's go on. We'll jump on over to our ratings of this great film.
The firstborn son. The torso. The bound woman. The withered lover. The torn prince. The angry princess. The pilgrimess. The great child and the dire mother. The hammer. The jackal. And the juggernaut.
Okay, so Ben, what did you think of this movie?
I actually enjoy this movie. Are we doing this out of 1 out of 5 or a 1 out of 10?
The 1 out of 5.
1 out of 5.
1 out of 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to give this movie 2.5 for the movie itself. But when I factor in the ghost, I'm gonna give it like a 4.5 out of 5. Like the movie is, or the story and the plot and everything is okay. The acting is good throughout most of it, but there are parts that are bad. The CGI is just not there, but it's used sparingly. But the ghosts are really where it's at. They that's where they spent all their time. So I really enjoy that, and so this I have 4.5 out of 4.5 out of 5.
4.5 ghosts out of 5.
This is a Halloween staple for me. I watch it just about every year.
So 4.5. Are you going with ghosts?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 4.5 koala bears out of 5.
Koala
Because she got done dirty, so I'm gonna use her as my metric.
What about you, Ian?
So this isn't like a favorite or anything. It was definitely, I enjoyed it more than I did the first time I saw it. But like the set design was really good. The makeup and costume design was really fucking good. Like the ghosts look fucking awesome. You know what? I'm going to give this 3. Could I jerk off to that? Titties out of 5.
Man.
Could you jerk off?
I'll tell you what, I have respect for you that there's still that question mark.
Because the nipples are still there. I mean,
Yeah, but one of the nipples has a big old slash across it. There's no way to avoid that.
Right, but that's what leads to debates. Like, can I jerk off to those titties?
We'll give it a shot later. I'll let you guys know how it goes.
I'll see how far I get.
If you want to know how that goes, why don't you join Ian on Reddit?
We need them to join Reddit. We don't need them to
I finally got somebody.
He's not alone in there.
I have a friend.
You know what? That's what it feels like to be a fish in a fish tank when they get a new fish. Like, there's somebody here.
Jesus. All right, what about you, Michael?
Michael, let's see. I do enjoy this film. I feel it's definitely a film that everyone should see at least once, because it's definitely worth seeing more than once, but at least once. You need to see this film because it was great ghost design. It was great. The acting could have been better, I guess. I don't hate this film at all. But I definitely have to be in the mood for it. Like, it definitely has to be like that time of year or something. I will never.
Yeah, that's why I call it a Halloween staple.
Right.
I'll never leave the room if someone's watching it. I'll sit there and watch it always. Yeah. So I'll probably give this a good 3 out of 5 Shaggies. That's what I'm going to give this, because it's right in the middle of the road for me. It's not a spectacular film that you need to watch all the time, but definitely when the timing's right for it, definitely watch it, and you're not going to leave it.
Yeah, it's a Halloween movie for sure.
Yeah, definitely a Halloween movie. So what do you think, Ursa?
I think this is just slightly below average. I think if they'd done a lot better, and a big thing for me is when anytime there was a ghost on screen and they were doing that flashing shit, and it was probably to save money, maybe. I don't know, but it was annoying. And I kept waiting on it to stop, and it didn't really stop that much.
Yeah, it might have been saving on a special effect that they were wanting, but it's like, well, this is what we can do for you with your budget.
Well, I suspect that if you were to get long glances at the ghost prosthetics, a few of them might not hold up.
That's true, too.
Like the hammer.
Yeah, hiding their budget a bit, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe, but it was annoying. Why I had I don't know. It was like there was a frame or two of a white flash or something like that. I'm glad I don't have epilepsy. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I guess an aesthetic choice maybe.
That's definitely what it was. Besides the budget.
I hated it. And I also hated Gretel's character arc. It was just stupid. Didn't make any sense. So that's why I just got to give it a slightly below average. So we'll go with 2 ghost jails out of 5.
2 ghost jails.
2 ghost jails.
Right? 2 ghost jails.
So
why didn't anyone choose the spectacles? What do we call the spectacles?
Echo glasses.
Echo glasses.
Ectospecs.
Ectospecs. I don't know what they called them, but we're calling them ectospecs.
Ectospecs.
I don't think they ever named them.
They did. They just kept putting them on.
One of the things this movie was kind of smart about was just there are certain things about this we're just not going to touch and leave it up to because the more you explain things, the more holes you get.
Yeah. Now that's actually kind of a fun thing I knew before, is that the glasses in this movie were a callback to the original one.
Right.
So the original 13 Ghosts that came out in 1960, apparently you could put on, there were something similar to 3D glasses, and you could see ghosts hidden in the movie that you couldn't see unless you were wearing the glasses.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a pretty fucking cool gimmick. I don't know how well it worked, but that's what
probably as well as 3D movies.
Right, yeah. But yeah, apparently you could put these glasses on and see hidden ghosts in the movie and stuff. That was back in the day when you know, a lot of these movies had gimmicks and stuff. Like, I don't even know who it was who would have like fucking fake skeletons and shit fly over the audience during movies. Like the late 50s, early 60s was a big like theater gimmick era. Like, come see the movie and there will be a thing happening. Yeah. So
It was more of an event.
right. Yeah. So the original 13 Ghosts had those glasses. And then that's why in this movie, which I guess is technically a remake or something, that's why the characters have glasses that allow them to see the ghosts. Yeah,
Makes
fun little trivia for you.
I like the trivia. But I think this, I like you, but you said it though. I think this movie was good about not over explaining. Because they definitely could have over-explained every bit of this. They really could have. But I think they did play a game where less is more. It's like, let's just let the audience, whatever they want to believe, let them believe it.
Yeah, the costumes were detailed enough that you could, like, pick up on how the ghost died if you didn't see that.
I really like that. Like the ghost design. That's
one
of the reasons I wanted to see more of them. But
right,
Yeah, like I said, I think that's where they spent the majority of their time for this film was the ghost.
Yep.
It shows. Definitely shows.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, this was 13 Ghosts. I appreciate you all for joining us for Cultober of our 13 Ghosts review.
Yep. Stay tuned for more. It's going to be more.
Say, what's our other Cultober exclusive? We had 13 Ghosts, The Faculty. We avoided Troll 2.
We did. That was a near miss.
We did Night of the Creeps.
Night of the Creeps.
And The Stuff.
The Stuff and Halloween.
And Halloween. John Carpenter's Halloween.
We also got Trick or Treat. Also.
Trick or Treat's coming down the pipeline.
Love that fucking
and then
movie.
Watch, we have Cult Talks Weird Shit.
Yep, Cult Talks Weird Shit. We usually do every other Wednesday, but we're doing a new full episode every single Wednesday this month. So if you haven't been tuning into Cult Talks Weird Shit, by the time this airs, there's already going to be a few episodes. So every single Wednesday in October, you can find a new Weird Shit episode.
What are some of our titles on those this month?
So we got It Came from Outer Space. That is all aliens and extraterrestrial, allegedly true stories. We're doing Halloween Haunts. It's ghosts and the supernatural. We haven't recorded it yet, but hopefully we're going to get up to Bigfoot Ridge and talk about monsters and stuff. And then me and Ben and Michael are going to talk about horror movies that actually fooled people into thinking they were real. So that should be fun. I don't know when any of that is airing off the top of my head, but just keep an eye out for it. There's
coming down the pipe.
Right.
Full episodes.
Full disclosure for any of you that are listening, like we record these in advance and we're not Tyler has the schedule, release schedule. So we might say things out of order. Just know it's because we're working hard. Okay. We're working full-time jobs and this.
We're working real hard for you guys.
We're trying to make sure that there's plenty of content for Halloween because who the fuck doesn't love Halloween?
Oh yeah. Best holiday. So make sure you tune in. We got new Cult of Campbell every Monday. We got new weird shit every Wednesday. We got cult movies every Friday this month. Tyler's going to be doing other shit on Tuesdays, I think, bonus stuff that I think is YouTube exclusive. If it's not, we'll just cut that out. So thank you for tuning in, guys. I've been Ian.
I've been Michael.
I've been Ursa.
I've been Ben.
Stay weird. No, wait, that's the wrong one.
Wrong one. Fuck. Don't go to ghost jail.
Stay spooky.
According to Basilius, there should be 12 earthbound spirits trapped inside.
You're the 13th ghost.